Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back inside the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for watching or listening, downloading the podcast. We appreciate it. If you are watching somewhere and you've not yet subscribed to the podcast, just search the Lock Shop on all your podcasting platforms and give us a sub. It's brought to you by our wonderful partners at Coolbet on the Nielsen Media Coolbet Network. Sign up for an account today using the code LOCKSHOP. You can bet on the Briere. You can bet on the NHL. You can bet on the WBC. You can bet on Formula One. You can bet on golf. We got lots. No shortage here, Hus. No shortage.
No, this is a fun week. And tomorrow, of course, is the big golf show. I'm sure Pat Gregoire will be joining us. Players Championship week. So big one tomorrow. And listen, Kurt Kitayama, what a story that was. I mean, ballsy win. I mean, he had that ridiculous OB by 2 inches in his final round and ended up coming back, making that late birdie and winning the whole thing. That's the longest shot we've seen in a PGA winner in a long, long time. I'm not sure what the pre-tournament number at Coolbet was, but I do know that he was as high as 200-1 in some spots.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, a triple-digit winner in a loaded field. And when you saw the guys that were right there, I mean, Rory McIlroy was there.
Yeah.
You had Hatton. He was tied for the lead at one point on Sunday. Justin Thomas really disappointed me. He was in a great spot on Saturday and just could not sink a putt. But we move on to the players. That'll be a big one tomorrow. That being said, by the way, Ultimate Flex yesterday doing the daily pick for Coolbet Canada, repping your Formula One winners with the Formula One hat on. That was a great piece of lock shop work right there, Dusty.
It was good. It was a good weekend. I gave you 2 plays last week. Max Verstappen plus 120 to win qualifying. He did. And then we had Alonso at plus 240 to finish on the podium. And he did. And he had to work his way up the field to do it. It was actually pretty good. So a nice start to the Formula One season for us. There's no doubt about it. Back to the golf for a second. You're right. I had Hatton in there. And when Kitayama kind of fell off, I saw, what was it? Was it Rory or Spieth? Spieth was up there too with Hatton, and I was like, oh, one of these guys is going to close it out for sure.
Hustler.
And then I had a long hockey day. Marshall had 2 games. Elizabeth had a game. I was running around doing some stuff for Marshall's birthday, which was yesterday, so it was busy. And then I finally load it later in the day. I'm like, all right, let's see, come on. And I saw he won it. I was like, what the hell happened to these other guys? And the other guy that really pissed me off was Keegan Bradley, who, if he doesn't shoot a bloody 77 on Friday, he's right in there because he had two rounds of 5 under. He just fired a 77 one of the days and took himself out of contention. But I was very angry at Keegan Bradley because he had 2 really good rounds and one that was just garbage. So that sucked.
Well, and I'll give a shout out to Will Zalatoris. I mean, he was basically not at all part of the leaderboard on the weekend. However, he did come through with massive birdies on 16 and 17 in round 2 to cash our make the cut parlay. So, Willie Z, you're in my good books for at least gutting it out, making it to the weekend, and getting us a winner on that plus 155 exclusive. We'll have to cook up another one and hopefully go 2 for 2 on those when we get going tomorrow with the big Players show.
Yeah, Players Championship tomorrow. We'll get you ready for that. Pat Gregoire, I haven't texted him yet, but he'll probably pop by and join us as well. They'll have a bunch of different exclusives over at Coolbet. We're going to throw a couple in there as well, and we'll give you our picks as we look for our 3rd golf winner of the year. Tuesday night NHL action. So last night, Lock Shop play of the day yesterday was the over. And Buffalo, Edmonton, there was 36 combined shots in the first period. I was like, we're going to get the shot volume here to hit the over tonight between these 2 teams. Instead, there's a goal called back due to offside. 2 goals actually called back due to offside in that hockey game, which kind of stung a little bit. They were the right call in both cases, but still it stings a little bit. But Buffalo, I like Buffalo. Buffalo's a fun team to watch. That was a really good game to watch last night.
I love Buffalo. That is the team. I'm really hoping they somehow find a way to sneak into the playoffs. Tough loss last night. Well, they've had a couple big wins over Tampa lately, but man, when you look at what's happened to the Tampa Bay Lightning, that game on Sunday afternoon, Dusty, against the Canes, they lose 6-0. They had 4 shots in the first period and 0 in the second. I mean, just absolutely incredible. And that, of course, coming off the loss to Buffalo, where Point, Stamkos, and Kucherov were all benched for the third period. It was strange. And just quickly before we get to the picks as well, we of course did have the home and home between the Jets and Oilers.
Yes, we did.
Friday was a massacre. That could have been 10-1, no problem. The Oilers took the feet off the gas in the third period. But that game on Saturday in Winnipeg, what a crazy, crazy game. Amazing atmosphere, full house. And I'm not sure. I mean, I often use the term roller coaster. That literally was. I mean, it was back and forth, winning, losing, winning, losing. Draisaitl had a monster weekend, and the Jets somehow found a way to gut it out and get 2 points.
I was watching that game, and I said to my wife, I said, Hus is there right now. I know what he's going to be losing his mind. And then you text me later, you're like, what a game. I was just like, yeah, it was a good game. Like, yeah.
I'm just thinking about listen, the Jets need to figure out, their game and get into the playoffs. And I know everything's sort of wild right now with where everything is. And I mean, the Oilers really aren't that far ahead of the Jets right now. I still feel like the Oilers have another gear that maybe they get on in those final 20 games. I think that West is still in the
Pacific. It seems like it should be
still
there, right? It looks like there should be another, because they're still sitting in the wild card spot.
Sign me up for a playoff series between those two teams if we could possibly get it. If it was anything like the game on Saturday. That being said, if you'd ask me after Friday's game, I would have wanted no part of it whatsoever. That was ugly, but a big slate tonight.
Let's get into it.
Games in the National Hockey League, and I'm rolling with a lot of plus money today. I'm taking underdogs. I
like this. 3 dogs,
particularly hot as of late. But I have paid quite close attention to the plight of the Florida Panthers. And every time the Panthers get into a situation where you think that they're playing for their season on the line, they come up small and then win games that you don't expect them to win. They're a minus 151 favorite tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. And I've just seen Florida let down too often in these massive games to have any confidence in them to win. And I really do think the Vegas Golden Knights are a team that, now that their roster is somewhat settled, we'll see whether they get Mark Stone back in time for the playoffs or for the playoffs. I mean, that's another story. But I really do think that they are a team that is trending in the right direction. I mean, if you look at what Vegas has done over the course of the last certainly the last week with 3 straight wins, including a very impressive wins over Jersey and the Carolina Hurricanes, I think they are in a real good spot right now. And they've been one of the best teams in the Western Conference over the course of the past month as well. So I think there's great value with Vegas at plus 125 going into Florida against a team that has had more no-shows on home ice than they have big performances with when the stakes are as high as they are right now. So I'm going to take the plus money on Vegas, and I'm going to do the same with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, listen, the Leafs have not been great since they made all these deals. And, of course, now Ryan O'Reilly is out. But I do sort of feel like they've got a lot better to show. Last week, they had that ugly game in Edmonton. They came back with a big road win in Calgary the next night. Saturday was a disaster for the Leafs. They got embarrassed in Vancouver. The Leafs suck chants were throughout the building, which I know cracked up a lot of people. And listen, they go from the West Coast to the East Coast with this game against the New Jersey Devils, who've been awesome all season long. The Devils, though, coming back off of that road trip, first game at home, I just have a feeling that we're going to see more urgency from the Leafs than we will from the New Jersey Devils right now. So another plus money underdog on the road, the Toronto Maple Leafs at plus 118. Those are my 2 favorite picks. I am going to also throw in the Coyotes, though. And the Coyotes are such a weird team because we expect them to lose pretty much every night out. And yet there they are. Let's just check this. Their home record, Dusty, is, and I plopped this out to a couple guys like, hey, what do you think Arizona's home record is?
Yeah, you've talked about this before on the Lock Shop. Yeah.
14-11-3 right now. They're terrible away from home. But they're hosting a St. Louis team that's only 7 points up on them in the standings. And I consistently am surprised by what Arizona is able to do at home. And now they're playing against a team that, again, is in complete next year territory. Craig Berube's just trying to find consistent efforts from his club, and that has not been the case. So, another nice plus money on a home dog with Arizona. So we'll put a little sprinkle on that for our third game. Single plays, though, bigger ones on Vegas and Toronto tonight. And I actually put these three together in a little parlay that's just about 10-1. Plus 994, I believe, is the number at Coolbet. So, we've had a little chalk as of late. Let's get a little aggressive tonight. Let's have a big one. Vegas, Toronto, Arizona, all plus money, and we'll put them together for a 3-gamer that's paying just about 10-1.
I got a few smaller numbers than usual as well, but that's because I'm taking some puck lines tonight. And, I'll start with Tampa because we just talked about this slide that Tampa's on. They get Philly tonight. I mean, if you're ever going to kick this shit, it's got to be tonight at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers have lost 8 of their last 10. Now, Hedman is day to day after crashing into the board, so that is not ideal. But you have to think 5 losses in a row, getting pumped by the Hurricanes. That the point Kucherov-Stamkos thing is a couple of games back now. If Tampa can't crush the Flyers tonight, what are we even doing here? So I'm on Tampa minus 1.5 tonight at minus 115, because that is a fascinating story, Huss. If this thing goes to 6 losses in a row with one to the Philadelphia Flyers, who've basically been in mail-in mode for 3 weeks now, I don't know when I'll ever get on them again. I mean, this is the one tonight. They're too good of a team to let this continue. I get it. 3 straight chips to the Stanley Cup, a couple of championships, mid-season funk, coach trying to send them. I get all that. But in the end, this group has to have some sort of response. And they didn't have a response after the loss to Buffalo. It was even worse against Carolina. So there's got to be a response here tonight, I think. Has to be.
There's a ton of character and pride in that dressing room. And they got flat out embarrassed on Sunday. And you're right. I mean, 7-3 to the Penguins, 4-1 to the Panthers. Another loss to the Penguins, 5-4. That 5-3 game where the guys were benched in the third period against Buffalo. And then the worst one of them all, an absolute shellacking to the Hurricanes, 6-0. I'm with you. Something's got to give right now. And I will say this, though. Leaf fans who are watching this, who are thinking, oh, Tampa, it would be great for the Leafs if the playoffs started today. They don't. And I find it impossible to wrap my head around Tampa not straightening it out and not being ready to go come playoff time, considering all the experience they have in that locker room, not to mention a coach with a couple Stanley Cup rings and the longest tenure in the NHL as well. So I don't mind that tonight. Better now more than ever, Tampa needs a performance just to, I think, get it going in the right direction and, just get some positive vibes going, because you can't sit there and lose 6, 7, 8 in a row at the end of the season and expect to turn it around. The time is now for Tampa to do it. And welcome, Philadelphia Flyers. They couldn't be coming into the Thunderdome at a better time.
Minus 115 on the puck line, Tampa tonight, minus 1.5. I'm also going to Carolina minus 1.5 here against minus 133. Now, Jesse Puljujarvi will not be playing, but he's finally met his new teammates, the Hurricanes. They've got the fist pump from Jesse tonight. So, of course, they're going to cruise, right? He's not going to be playing tonight. They've won 6 of their last 8. Their last 2, they've walloped a couple of teams, 6-1, 6-0. But they've won 6 of their last 8, Huss. And one thing that they have in common in all 6 of those victories, they've all been by 2 goals or more. So, I mean, when Carolina's on, Carolina's on. They've got 2 losses in that stretch. I think they won 4 in a row, 5 in a row, lost 2, and then just put up 6 goals in back-to-back games. So they're clicking right now. They're extremely deep. They get a Montreal team that's kind of in no man's land here right now. So I'm on Carolina minus 1.5 at minus 133. And then I am not here for the Calgary Flames using the momentum of last night's thrilling victory to go get the job done against the Minnesota Wild. It was funny today, texting in to my show. People were texting in, and there's nothing like checking out another market just to see where people are at. So a bunch of people are texting them. They're like, Dusty, I'm listening to 960 in Calgary now, and they said last night's win is the exact win that they need to push themselves to a playoff spot, and the only team they really have to worry about is the Colorado Avalanche if they get there, because they're built for the playoffs. I was like, oh my God, let's calm down. You blew a 2-goal lead and got lucky that Toffoli got a breakaway late in the hockey game last night. Now they're going to go into Minnesota tonight. Minnesota's been excellent as of late. They just beat the Flames 3-0 2 games ago. I'm going to take Minnesota in regulation tonight. Calgary in the second half of back-to-backs, plus 115. Minnesota tonight in regulation against Calgary. I'm not buying into... Calgary lost 5 in a row prior to the win last night. I don't think all of a sudden a switch is going to flip for a team that's basically, in my way, the way I view it, I mean, I don't think they want Sutter around anymore. And we'll see what ends up happening here moving forward. But I'm not here for the Calgary back-to-back. I'm going to take Minnesota in regulation tonight.
Well, listen, I hope you're right, and I hope these teams beat the hell out of each other tonight, because the Jets have Minnesota the following night, where the Wild are going to be on the second end of back-to-backs, and the Jets need to take advantage of this schedule right now, because for them, after this Minnesota game, they go to Florida, Tampa, Carolina, and then come home for the Boston Bruins. It is not an easy run right now for Winnipeg, and they desperately need points, especially after leaving one on the table last night against the San Jose Sharks.
I have to say quickly on the Winnipeg Jets, if the Jets blow it and allow Calgary in, I'm going to be pissed, because today on the show, I said if Calgary makes the playoffs, I will eat Brussels sprouts on the radio. And I've never had Brussels sprouts, Hus, and I don't want anything to do with them. So I eliminated Calgary from postseason contention on the show today. I said they're done, they're eliminated, don't give me any of that. So if the Jets blow this, I'm going to be very angry at a city I usually love in Winnipeg.
Well, I'll be blaming you for this hot take factory, a.k.a. the Nielsen show, putting a fork in the flames. Hey, a lot of people did that on Saturday, though. Winnipeg got the win against Edmonton. Calgary was horrendous at home against the Minnesota Wild. I can't imagine they're as bad as they were Saturday tonight, but they have played a lot of hockey. And the bottom line is the Minnesota Wild are rolling right now. I mean, that is a team that I'm not sure a lot of teams want to play coming up come playoff time. And
they wouldn't.
Bill Garrett has pretty interesting moves at the deadline as well. So we'll see it. But a huge night tonight. We've got our picks up there, but head on over to CoolBet. I think we've got, 10 matchups this evening in the National Hockey League. So
pretty busy night.
Very, very busy night.
What else? You got other stuff on the ice here. What else you got going on?
Just quickly before I got a couple curling picks. We do have an afternoon draw and then an evening draw, and everything's up. But for those of you that are into baseball, and I'm not going to make any big picks because I'll be honest, I haven't really gone through it all, but we should mention the World Baseball Classic gets going tonight, and the full list of futures is up at CoolBet right now. DR, Dominican Republic, without Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Japan are the co-favorites to win the whole thing at plus 210. USA at plus 325. And then you start getting into Venezuela at 10-1, Puerto Rico and Korea at 16-1. You got to go all the way down to 80-1 for Canada to win. Although there is an interesting prop if you just want to follow the Canadian teams. Canada to advance out of pool play. Canada is in Pool C. The USA is a big favorite at minus 500. Mexico plus 425. And then Colombia at plus 200. Canada at 25-1. And Great Britain at 125-1. I probably can't see Canada getting out of it, but at the same point, if you want to have a little sprinkle on the home team and cheer them on, it is all there. And I'll tell you what, a Dominican Republic Japan final would be incredible. You got, I saw you Darvish, in the along with Ohtani in the dugout the other day, and Ohtani's doing some weird thing with the baseball, and Darvish just sitting there watching and learning from the young guy. And that DR team is so stacked as well, even without Vlad.
I think I'd be on DR even at the short number. I think that's probably where I'd go, but yeah,
sure. USA, and we'll have to look and kind of go over everyone that's playing right now. But just with the amount of talent that they have, plus 325 might be actually some pretty good value. But I would love for the odds makers to be right and have this one come down to Dominican Republic and Japan. All right, let's quickly get to the Briere. coming up in about 45 or 40 minutes or so. The afternoon draw gets going, and we've got a couple picks. Let me just get on here. So for this afternoon, huge game, and I'm sure this will be the feature game on TSN. Brad Gushu, 4-1, going up against Brendan Botcher, who's 5-0. Gushu is a plus 110 underdog, which almost never happens. So there's no way I could not jump on Gushu to try to even up this pool at 5-1, 5-1. And Quebec's looked really good so far. I'm going to put Canada and Quebec on a parlay at plus 245. And then I have one for this evening. It's a little chalkier. I wasn't going to jump on a couple of the rock lines, but we've got Manitoba, BC, and PEI just to win. All money line parlay coming up at plus 116. Hit that one. I'm going to hit that one a little harder than the afternoon one, and then swing for the fences with some big underdogs on the ice tonight.
I love seeing when you say your picks over. I looked at them quickly, and then I got home. I started plugging them into the graphics, and I was like, "This guy's on 3 dogs tonight in the National Hockey League." I can't remember the last time one of us was on 3 dogs in the NHL. So I like that. Hopefully it's not. With that being said, Vegas, pretty good dog to be on. And Toronto, not a bad dog to be on either. So might get them in some good spots right now. So that's something to keep tabs on. All right, rest of the week on the Lock Shop, we're going to have episode on Wednesday. Obviously, get you ready for the Players' Championship. The sprinkles on the ice as well. And then Friday, we'll have an episode kind of heading into the weekend. Probably circle back around to the XFL and some fun stuff there as well. So another busy week in the Lock Shop. If you've been watching and you've not yet, sign up for an account at CoolBet, coolbet.com. They're great to work with. Just use the code LOCKSHOP when you sign up. You get a 100% deposit bonus on initial deposit up to $200. Hus, what's coming up on Winnipeg Sports Talk here in a little bit? What do you got going on today?
Well, we're going to
episode 501.
Episode 501 today, and tomorrow, the second anniversary of Winnipeg Sports Talk. We started on March 8th, 2021, and 500 shows in the books, and we start off 501 today. John Mattis from The Score, the national NHL writer, is going to jump on with us. We'll have reaction from last night's game, Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press, and much, much more. We will hit the cool bet lines. We'll see what Remo's got to say about this evening's games. And I can tell you, I just put this back in. A couple line movements. That parlay now over 10-1, plus 1024 on a Vegas, Toronto, Arizona parlay. So,
you know what was weird yesterday? We had our exclusives, and my exclusive with the Oilers game last night, and McDavid scored early. I was like, all right, here we go. Thompson hit a couple of posts. I was like, damn it, maybe it's not meant to be. But it was at plus 560 is where it opened. It got to plus 540, and then it got back up to plus 580. And Jake's texting me. He goes, we got a ton of tickets coming out of this. I don't know what's going on with this number right now. It's moving all over the place. I was just like, wow, this is interesting. So we were both kind of a little baffled yesterday on that one.
There was some line movement on mine as well. Mine for the Jet game opened up at plus 500 and went down to plus 460. And this was it was a Jets win and an over 5.5. So obviously it didn't come in.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we had was a Niederreiter point, a Connor point, and a Morrissey point. And the first goal of the game for the Jets was Niederreiter from Connor and
Come
Morrissey.
on.
Yeah.
No way.
So, I mean, the one goal in, it ticked it off, and then it was just about a win in the over. And unfortunately, we know the way the game ended. But we're sniffing around it. We'll get back at it maybe tomorrow with another exclusive. We'll definitely have an exclusive for the players. Cannot wait for tomorrow's show. One of my favorite tournaments of the year and one of my favorite episodes of the Lock Shop. So going to be plenty of research tonight. We'll lock that in tomorrow and get ready for TPC Sawgrass.